Last time we have studied three terms that were related to the machine. But now today we will discuss the relation between those three terms which were related to machine. So today our topic is relation between the efficiency, mechanical advantage and the velocity ratio of a practical machine. As we have studied all these three terms, so let us consider a practical machine which displaces a useful load L. So useful load is L. Okay? It is displaced through a distance D. So distance by which useful load is displaced is small d. It is displaced when effort E is applied. So effort is E. This effort E causes a displacement through distance capital D. So now displacement due to effort capital E is capital D. These are the basic few assumptions which we have taken to state the relation between them. So now, as we know that output is the work done in displacing the load. So output is equal to useful load into distance by which useful load is displaced, and input is a work done by a human being on a machine. So it is effort applied by human being and displacement due to that effort. This is the input and output. As we know that efficiency neta is equal to output by input. So it is L into small d by E into capital D. It can be written as L by E divided by small d by capital D. Here we conclude that load by effort is mechanical advantage and displacement due to effort by displacement of useful load is velocity ratio. So on substituting these two values, we get that neta efficiency is equal to ratio of mechanical advantage by velocity ratio. So this equation represents the relation between the three terms which are related to machine. Now we will discuss about lever. Lever is a rigid bar which rests on a fixed point. The fixed point on which the lever rests is known as the fulcrum. So we can define the lever as a rigid bar that rests on a fulcrum. So lever is a rigid bar that rests on a fulcrum. But this fulcrum is a fixed point on that rigid bar. So mechanical advantage of a lever. The figure below will depict about the load, effort and fulcrum in the lever. This is A, B point, and fixed point is F, which is fulcrum. This is effort E, and this is load L. A to F is effort arm, while F to B is load arm. This is a basic figure which is used to derive the expression for mechanical advantage of a lever. Now, the principle on which lever works is load into load arm is equal to effort into effort arm. This equivalence relation is a principle on which every lever works. According to figure, we can substitute load L, load arm is BF, effort by E, and effort arm by AF. Load by effort will be equal to AF by BF. So, as we have concluded that load by effort is mechanical advantage. So, in case of lever, mechanical advantage is effort arm by load arm. Here we define that mechanical advantage of a lever is a ratio of effort arm to load arm. Now, there are three classes of a lever: class 1 lever, class 2 lever and class 3 lever. So now, classes of lever. In class 1 lever, fulcrum is located between effort and load. Means F is in between L, that is load, and E, that is effort. So its mechanical advantage is effort arm by load arm. Its example can be taken as crowbar, scissor or etc. Means in class 1 lever, the fixed point is in between the load which has to be taken by the machine and the effort which is applied by us. In class 2 lever, fulcrum is at one end, effort is on another end, while load is in the middle. So, L, that is load, is in between F, that is fulcrum, and E, that is load. As load is in between effort and fulcrum, thus its mechanical advantage is always more than 1. It is so because effort arm is always longer than the load arm. So, mechanical advantage will be greater than 1. Its examples are bottle opener, nutcracker, or in third class liver, effort is in between the fulcrum and the load. So, effort, that is E, is in between F, that is fulcrum, and load, that is L. Due to this, its mechanical advantage is always smaller than 1, because effort arm is always smaller than load arm. Its examples are fire tongue, hockey sticks, etc. These are the three classes of lever. Now we will discuss about pulley. In pulley, there is a flat circular disc having groove in its edges, which is capable of rotating about a fixed point passing through its center. The center is known as axial. The figure below will depict the various words which are used in its definition. So this red color line represents the support. This blue colored circle represents the flat disc. This white color circle represents groove, and this lower white portion represents fixed pulley. As we all know, the best example where pulley can be used or can be seen to be utilized is in wells. We can have a single fixed pulley system, single movable pulley system, or we can join many pulleys to form a pulley system. But here we have to discuss that how single fixed pulley system functions and what are the various parameters which are regarding to this system. So, single fixed pulley system. The figure below will depict that how it looks and what are the various parameters or what are the various things which are related to this. Now, a pulley that is attached to a structure is known as a fixed pulley, and it is a system which is consists of a single pulley. As we have seen above that what are the various components of a pulley. All these components are also represented in a single fixed pulley system also. But here we have connected ropes also. In the rope, there is a tension T which is acting on them. So, the one end of the rope is attached to the load while other is applied to the effort. Now, here we have taken two parameters, that is small l and small x. Small l represents the useful load, while X is the load due to resistance. This X includes the various resistive forces which are imposed by the system. So, total load L will be equal to L plus X. Now, let us consider that the whole system is in the equilibrium. Means, when the system is in equilibrium, then no external forces are applied on it and it is in the rest condition. In this condition also, the tension T will be acting because the strings are attached to the system. So, load L will be equal to the tension T in the string. Now, let us consider that the pulley is not rotating. So, when the pulley is not rotating, the effort will also be equal to the tension T because it is not moving. So, no human efforts, then effort will be equal to tension T. So, mechanical advantage is equal to load by effort, that will be equal to T by T, that is equal to 1. So, this is the mechanical advantage of single pulley system that is fixed, not moving. Now, let us calculate its velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is equal to effort displacement upon load displacement. So, that is also equal to 1 because the pulley is not moving, and when the effort acts through distance small d in the downward direction, then the load will also move through distance d but in the upward direction. So, velocity ratio equals to 1. Now, we will calculate its efficiency, that is mechanical advantage divided by velocity ratio. That also comes out to be 1. So, neta percent equal to 100%. This is the various parameters of single fixed pulley system. Now we will discuss about another system, that is wheel and axle. Wheel and axle system is also a simple machine which is made up of two circular objects of different size. Wheel and axle together combines to form a simple machine, and their basic use or the most important use is to lift or move the load. In this system, effort is always applied to wheel and which turns the axle. They move together when effort is applied to wheel. The wheel and axle spreads the force over a greater distance, which in turn works for us for the effort applied. And in its construction part, the axial is attached to the center of a larger wheel. It looks like this. These red color circles represents the wheel, while These white color lines represents the axle. This axle is embedded in between it. These dotted lines shows that how the axle is in between the wheels. Now next simple machine we have to discuss is inclined plane. As we all have seen, outside many houses there are ramps and they are made so that the vehicle should conveniently move up and should taken out. So this inclined plane makes the movement of the heavy vehicles easy, and it is defined as a flat surface which is set at an angle against a horizontal surface. It seems to be like this. But the flat surface which is set at an angle should never be set at right angle. Means the angle should not be 90 degree. Now we will calculate its mechanical advantage. In that, before calculating, we have an assumption that mechanical advantage when effort acts parallel to the surface of inclined plane. Here, effort is applied at A point, that is E, and AC is a load, vertical height H, theta is the angle of inclination, L is the load which has to be taken, and small l represents the length of the inclined plane. So here we have considered that effort capital E is applied along the inclined plane B to A when the load capital L rises through a vertical height AC, that is small h. So for mechanical advantage we have to calculate input and output. So input is equal to work done on inclined plane. Input is equal to effort into length of inclined plane, that is AB, and output is equal to load, that is capital L, into vertical height, that is AC. By principle of machine we know that output is equal to input, so L into AC is equal to E into AB. L by E will be equal to AB by AC, where AB is length of inclined plane, that is small h, and AC is vertical height, that is small h. So in case of inclined plane we conclude that mechanical advantage is length of inclined plane upon height of plane. That's all for the simple machines.